What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of Watching Paint Dry here on Another Letdown. My name is Zach from Another Letdown Media, and this is the show where we hang out long after we should have thought about going to bed on a Saturday night and work through the ridiculous backlog of miniatures we've accumulated that need painting. There's an old adage that says if a miniatures painter ever runs out of projects to paint, he or she will die, so we're just trying to stave off death for as long as possible. And I don't do this alone. Joining me on the line, as always, our resident monkey handler, my perennial painting partner, it's Broody Gambit. Mike, how's it going?
It's going great. How's everyone else?
It's been a busy week. We had, it was a 4-day week, so that means we tried to cram 5 days of learning into 4 days, which is never fun. It's also been very cold.
Days?
Huh?
You had at least 4 days?
We'll get to that in a minute. I was transitioning over to there for briefly. Blink triggered me with the word chilly, and I was like, well, yeah, it's been very cold up here, but I understand the weather's a lot worse where Mike is. Mike, do you want to talk about that?
I mean, I didn't really get anything. It's a little bit worse, a little bit further south of us.
Mm-hmm.
But like our school system, where they just thought that there might possibly be some accumulation of snow, canceled like every day this week.
Oh my God.
And and this is like the third week in a row.
That's
we did
absolute
get some snow
insanity.
like a little while ago. That literally shut us all down for a week.
That is absolutely hilarious to me. Like my uncle lives in Mobile, Alabama. They shut down the entire town, like no traffic in or out, for the entire week for 7 inches of snow. For 7 inches of snow, we're still in school. Like that's not a problem for us.
Yeah. I saw a video of the blah blah blah. What is it? The salt trucks, the public works salt trucks for Pensacola, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
They got like 6 inches. It was literally 2 dudes on the back of a pickup truck with a bag of salt, like just with a cup, scooping it out and tossing it onto the street.
Yep. Real effective, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Well done. Might as well be Jeremy Clarkson at that point with his snowbine harvester. Anyway, we've got miniatures that need painting. We're gonna work through that backlog, and I'll talk about why I've kind of put a pause on Marvel for a minute, and DC for that matter. I've got the Joker up here somewhere. We'll get into that. As with all the shows that we host here on the channel, we believe in civil rights for absolutely everyone and in being as inclusive as possible, so any comments or activity actively working against that goal are not welcome and will not be tolerated. Let's paint. Did that a little hastily today. Yeah, so I'm painting Chaos Dwarfs again because I'm a glutton for punishment, and Games Workshop just released a boatload of new Chaos Dwarf minis for both Blood Bowl and for the Old World, and it looks like there may be even more on the horizon, and I'm like, dang it, stop this madness. I don't want to give you any more money, but your miniatures are gorgeous, and I do want to play the game at some point. So I guess here we are. We're doing Old World stuff. That said, if I do get bored, and I probably will, I got Blade up here, ready to go. Oh yeah, here's Joker. He's just hiding behind Blade. So yeah, I got some minis to do. I just got all the Blood Bowl stuff assembled, and I got a new shipment coming in on Monday. So next show we'll have all that to talk about. Kombucha time. Yes, I was just thinking about that. I got this one, Elderberry Juniper. Found it at a convenience store in Vermont this afternoon because it's all they had. So we're gonna crack this open. Whoa! Immediately, I'm hit with pine. It smells like pine. This could be an adventure. Whoa, that is strong. Ooh, really good though. Very tasty. Okay. And you're working on more Shatterpoint stuff.
Yep, working on Sabine Wren today.
Love that. Love that for you. I gotta be honest, Atomic Mass Games has really been kicking it out of the park with the...
I know. Their minis as a whole have been pretty great.
Yeah.
Recently.
So, one thing that I forgot to...
Found their groove.
Sorry. Yes,
Sorry.
They really have. They really have. So one thing I forgot to do last time was hit these guys with ink. So I actually may end up doing some blade stuff. Although I've still got a ton of chaos dwarfs. I don't know. I got hobgoblins kicking around up here too. So we'll see what happens. But we're gonna start by slopping the Nuln Oil. I think. Yeah. Nuln Oil first. This one open. Doesn't feel like it. Ah, there you are. Which begs the question, why did I prepare my wet palette at all?
I don't know why.
Well, eventually I'll get to it. Nice thing about Chaos Dwarfs is they're so grungy that you can pretty much just splop Nuln Oil everywhere and they come out fine. I do tend to do things a little bit differently with these than maybe is normal, because I use a green wash on their armor, just for something a little different. So we've got the big Arkham show next week.
On Friday.
Super excited about that, featuring the Jason Trost.
Starting at 6?
No, 8, because Australia time. It's going to be a late one, unfortunately. But yeah, he's in Australia, so we have to accommodate best we can. I'm figuring that if we hit midnight, we're just going to say the Ancient One wakes up. We're fighting against Athakwa. He's pretty beatable. So I think we just plan to fight the Ancient One if we hit midnight and we haven't lost yet. Or if it's close, we'll make an evaluation. But in deference to everyone involved, it's probably just easier to say that. That way we also have a definitive end time too, and we're not just burning them, 2 o'clock in the morning and
burning the midnight oil, as it were.
Yeah. It's great for Jason because he's, that's like, we start at like his noon, But for us, it's like, oh, God. So it'll be Saturday for him. When we play.
Bugger.
I know. What a jerk.
No, I mispainted something.
Oh. Well, that too.
I'll have to go over and fix it.
I mean, isn't that always the way? See what I did there? Because she's Mandalorian. Yes, because
I'm painting Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Go to bed.
Thank you. Having watched Ahsoka now, but not the cartoon that
Rebels?
Sabine originated in, Rebels. Sabine was far and away the character, like, she was the character that I was most interested in watching. Now, that's not taking anything away from anyone else on that show, because they were all wonderful. But, like, when she was on screen, I was locked in.
Yeah.
And I'm rewatching Daredevil right now, as I finish some endgame content in Final Fantasy Rebirth. And... like, it's the same vibe with Frank Castle. Like, when Punisher's on screen, I'm locked in. My game is paused. Like, I am doing nothing else other than enjoying John Bernthal's performance.
He was so good in that.
My God, I'm so excited to see him suit back up in Born Again. I'm excited to see everybody, but mostly, I mean, I am there for Frank. Which is strange, because, like, my affiliation, or my affinity for Punisher is very odd. As a pacifist, like, you know, very much someone who would not in real life be rooting for someone like Frank Castle. I love reading Punisher comics. And I think that's because that's what it was written for, you know?
Mm-hmm.
All right, have a good one, Blank. Thanks for stopping by, man. Reminding me to stay hydrated. We were playing Guacamelee last night on stream. Game's a lot of fun, but Guacamelee 2 specifically, and it gets really hard. Like, some of the challenges are just like, this is brutal. And I don't hate that. That is not a complaint. This is a classic case of the team knew what they had, and like, they teach you the stuff through the first game, and they're like, okay, now we're pulling out the stops. Enjoy.
So you should know what to do because you played the first one.
Yeah. And have played the game, you know, so far up to this point. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. You know, but, you know, one of the things I see all the time, specifically in that game, is like, I see a challenge and I'm like, oh, I can immediately clock what ability I don't have that I need for this.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes the gameplay a lot smoother. Whereas something like Axiom Verge 2, which completely changes the formula, while nebulously taking place in the same sort of world, I guess,
mm-hmm.
You don't feel that sense of forward momentum. You don't really know where you stand. And that's not, again, not a complaint. It's just a different way of approaching it. I genuinely do think that the best game that I played last year was Axiom Verge 1. Very much looking forward to Shadow Labyrinth coming up. I don't know if did you see anything about that?
Mm-mm.
It's a Pac-Man Metroidvania.
Oh. That's an interesting combo.
Yeah, so I played a game last year called Ghost Song, which was really good. And it just had a cool aesthetic. And Shadow Labyrinth really looks akin to Ghost Song, so I'm just stoked for more of that. Ghost Song had a very definitive ending. I was like, man, I want more of this. I want, you know, Ghost Song 2. But it looks like Shadow Labyrinth might be the closest I get to a Ghost Song 2, at least in the time being. Although, speaking of things getting, you know, updates and whatnot, the InSync socials have been blowing up.
Yeah, how so?
Just lots of posts, increase in posts, and I'm like, they are supporting it, they are promoting it.
We need to finish that.
We really need to finish that, yeah.
Put up your drawers, let's go now.
I mean, if you want.
No, I'm just joking.
I kind of, you know, we started this, but I'm not upset about it. We still got 2 left, though, so that's a 4-hour show. Oh, Robot finally posted that we're live. Thanks, Robot. Way to be on time, buddy. So my buddies invited me to go retro game hunting again next Saturday, and I said, you know what? As much as I would enjoy that, I need to start saving money for Switch 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then my buddy was like, oh, so do I. Why am I going? I'm like, because you're spending time with your buddy. Like, that's why, if I had gone, that's why I would have gone. Spend time with friends. Maybe sell some stuff. Like, there's a couple of games in my collection that I'm definitely never going to play, have no interest in. They were just, like, dropped in my lap. So, there we are. And tonight, we went to my cousin's house to set fire to our Christmas trees.
Oh, fun.
Oh, yeah. It's an annual family tradition. Of course, none of the family showed up this year.
So?
Huh?
Let them dry out for about a month, and then you...
Honestly, we literally took ours down yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We've been busy. And apparently ours burnt the best, too. So I was like, all right, well, guess we keep them watered next year. But, no, it's just something we've done really just to indulge my brothers and my cousin's pyromania for quite some time now. But, you know, my daughter got there, and of course the first voice she heard was my brother's. And my brother is very loud and doesn't really realize it because he's hard of hearing. Mm-hmm. And that, you know, like, Kara has been petrified of him for her entire life. And I'm like, I love my brother. Please don't be scared of my brother. He's loud and he's foolish, but he's a good person. Don't be mad at him. Don't be afraid of him. But she did a good job. Once we finally got her in, we had to, like, feign that we were going home. And then we pulled into a gas station, bought a box of tissues, and turned around and went back. But we got her there. And she ended up having a good time. There was a dog. Anytime there's a dog, Kara generally has a pretty
definitely helps out.
Yeah. Okay, where is it? You? No. Where's my camo shade? Please do this one. Ha! Nailed it. This is why I need a drawer in my desk. For trash Citadel paints. I don't want to see that either. Fine, whatever. Oh my god. Fine.
That's definitely not a good choice.
Of course, the one bummer to getting new minis in the middle of winter is I can't prime them until spring.
Yeah, that's what I've been having the problem. Our temperature hasn't come out of the teens in like 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So even like, I occasionally will fudge it in my garage.
Yep. Same with the shed.
Where I can kind of the temperature's a little bit warmer than it is, but
it's still not the best idea. Like,
yeah.
The science teacher and I, when they rebuilt the school, we were like, oh, can we have a fume hood? And they were like, what? No. We're like, damn it.
What I've found, like the problem with where I live is, in the winter when it gets too cold, I can't prime. but the summer tends to get much hotter than because
too humid,
they
yeah.
recommend that like 50 to 70, 50 to like 80 degrees temperature.
Yep.
And I very easily get well over that 80-degree temperature.
Right.
And the other problem is the incredibly high humidity.
That's my bigger
that's
problem.
Usually a problem for me.
Yeah, well, we have that problem too. A little further north. Dealing with some random duders while I got this out. I love the way that this camo shade interacts with the metal.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes it look sickly and weird. Could I achieve the same result with like a color shift paint or something like that? Yes, but this is more fun. Oh, this guy with oven mitts. That's hilarious.
I'm not sure if I like that color.
Well, then change it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been nice to, like, even if I can't indulge painting on off days, I can at least, or I can often indulge assembly, which is why I tend to buy minis in the winter, because I can't print them for the same reason that I can't prime anything. So I buy kits during the winter months to at least keep my backlog rolling, I guess. Oh god, that doesn't feel right to say. That just feels like I have a problem. I don't have a problem. I can stop anytime I want. I also have a problem called Alex.
Yeah.
Who is a poor influence. Although, I got him back at PAX East, or PAX Unplugged, though.
Yeah.
He convinced me to buy some Chaos Dwarfs that I definitely needed. And then I made him buy a Warhammer 40k shirt that he definitely didn't need for way too much money.
Mm-hmm. What was the Warhammer shirt?
It was Catechin's.
Mm-hmm.
Which, admittedly, I love Catechins. I think they're very cool. My little brother was playing like it was D&D, but it was like they were playing in the 40k universe. Which I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. That's creative. At least it's doing something different. And what are Space Marines if not murder hobos? And he was waffling back and forth between doing Catechins and Deathcore. He ended up with Deathcore, which I actually painted that on stream, didn't I? Way back when, with like the electric green base. I don't remember. But yeah, it was fun. Although I got speaking of D&D, I got into it with someone about D&D the other day.
Yeah.
I don't remember if this was on Discord or some random internet place, but I was like, I just kind of like casually said D&D's they're better. Stop playing D&D. There are better games.
Yeah.
And they were like, what? D&D's the best, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, sure, if all you want to do is be murdery. Like, nobody knows how to handle players. If you play any other system, it's going to teach you something about something you can bring back to your D&D game. And I mean that genuinely. Like, and you're going to be a better player for it. And they were like, no, I'm not going to do it. I was like, well, let me tell you this story. When Sentinel Comics, the RPG came out, I didn't convince my group to play it. I couldn't. They didn't want to. Mm-hmm. They wanted to play D&D. I said, well, try Call of Cthulhu then. Try something different. Just a different vibe for a little while. We played Call of Cthulhu and then immediately played Sentinel Comics RPG because of what we found in Call of Cthulhu. We learned how to be not a character, but a person. Like, you learn how to role play in Call of Cthulhu, it's necessarily a human being, but like, it doesn't have to, like a person. So that when you come back to D&D, you then approach the situation differently. Our DM, I'll get to that in a second, RPD. Our DM didn't know what to do with us because we were like, he presented a situation where he expected us to immediately go into combat, and we just started diplomacying, and he's like, oh no, that's actually better. Okay, now I need to like pause because like the session's over. That was expected to take 2 hours of combat, and you did it in 20 minutes of diplomacy. And we're like, yeah, because we're better people now. We're better at being people. So that was kind of and once I finally articulated that to the person, he was like, oh, maybe I will try something different. I'm like, good, please do. Like, and let me know what you think, because it's there's a lot out there. There's so much out there. Yeah. All right, RPD. I've been listening to so much Crash Test Dummies lately. Like, the fact that you brought that up out of the blue, I was like, wow. Okay. I love Crash Test Dummies. I really do. My smaller brush. And although that's Weird Al, isn't it?
Hmm?
Once there was this kid who. Because I think starts out with once there was a boy who. Oh, you knew that though, because I feel like we've had this conversation. Where's medium layer? That'll work. I accidentally discovered the Ballad of Peter Pumpkinhead the other day, and it's been stuck in my head for a week. But I'm not upset about it. Like, it's a good song and a good cover, and I learned it quickly, and I really want to like experiment with it. Record something. My recording buddy is busy at the moment. So, I mentioned earlier that I'm in kind of a spending freeze on video games right now.
Yeah.
The one thing that I keep coming back to is Astrobot. I really want to play Astrobot. Everybody keeps telling me it's like a better Mario Odyssey. I'm like, I really loved Mario Odyssey. And I loved the Astrobot tech demo that came with the PlayStation. all that success despite forgetting to grab them by the throat and scream at them to repent. I'm missing something, RPD. It could be just my brain is fried. Who needs to repent? Repent, for tomorrow you die. Dark Angels. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh boy. Nice. All right. Let those be for a minute. Move on to these guys, which are also technically Chaos Dwarfs, even though they look like goblins. They are. They are hobgoblins, which the Chaos Dwarfs love to keep as slaves. Rude. Hobgoblins and ogres. Oh my god, that's so cool.
What?
RPD is going to get to meet Candace, it sounds like.
Nice.
I'm mega jealous, RPD. That is really, really cool.
Both straps on the arms, both gloves, both sets of boots.
Boy, hobgoblins are weird. I undercoat them brown.
Mm-hmm.
And then paint the goblin green over the top of that. Then I wash them brown again. And then highlight with another coat of green. I will make a point of asking her that. Thank you, RPD. One day I'll get to travel internationally again. But it is not going to be anytime soon. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Give me a minute. I'll have a look. I'm actually waiting for... I'm in between paint colors, so this is like perfect timing. Welcome back, by the way. I do recognize your Instagram account. I definitely checked it out at one point or another. Let's see what we got. Oh, you've got some really smooth color here. I like that. Oh, why won't it let me? Oh, I like your vehicles. I really like those vehicles. The smoothness is just really evident. I love what you've done with the canopies. The prism.
Input for getting some input.
Yeah. There's someone in chat. Fallen Icarus asked for some feedback, and I'm just kind of glancing through his Instagram here, or their Instagram here. I'm not going to assume gender here. I can't make them big, which is frustrating because I'm not logged in here. I wonder if this will work. Maybe it will. Yeah, there we go. Got it. Load. Oh, for God's sakes. Come on. There we go. Okay, now I can see it better. Your line work is really solid. The basing I might do a little bit differently. And maybe pick out some of the details on the weapons. A little bit of edge highlighting on the back of the walker right off the bat. Really like this. Oh my gosh, this sort of old Greg style character. Liking that a lot. I love what you did with the glasses there. The detail on the pants is really strong too. Here's a Farseer. Oh, okay. Yes, I can help you with this Farseer. Not a sponsor, but we have been going on a lot about Green Stuff World as a paint company. I've been trying a lot of their stuff out. They have some really neat metallics. They have some really pretty metallic paints. But green, let's talk. Yeah. But they also have this color shift line, which Eldar use a lot of gemstones and stuff like that. And these color shift paints are crazy for that kind of thing. Really add a lot of depth to it. Right now, what you've got here is very cartoony, which works really nicely for Eldar. Also, I'm gonna go grab one character in particular because I think it's a pretty good indication of what I would do here. So hold on. So I got Wilson Fisk over here, Kingpin, and what I've done here is I wish I'd done it better, but I'm happy with it. I'm gonna use this pencil as an indicator. On the light pieces, I did like a really, really light blue wash and then went back with a very fine, like a fine detail brush, but still a Nuln Oil, and just get some of those deep recessed lines. Right on the Skyrunner that the Farseer's on, you could get that front line on the front, like the sweepy piece. You could also use like a fine point paint marker and get a similar result. So yeah, just a little bit more like, if you're gonna go with the cartoony look, which I think they do by and large, and it works well for them, maybe lean into it with a little bit more hard line stuff. But yeah, these are looking really, really good. I'm very pleased with them. Fire Prism, again, like you could do some edge highlighting on the prism itself, but I love what you've done with the canopy and the like line work on it. Looks really solid. Yeah, that's really, really cool. I mean, it speaks very strongly to the sculpt too. All your tanks look good. And then we got the Space Marine Chaplain here, which looks really, really rad. Really liking the dry brushing. Brought out a lot of the edges and makes it look suitably grimy. So yeah, nice job, Fallen Icarus. Very cool stuff. But there you go, a little bit of extra stuff to consider. All right, what was I doing? What am I doing? Oh yes, I missed a bit with some not Iron Hand Steel, Lead Belcher. There you are. I'm looking for you. That is the one I'm looking for right here.
Now.
You all right?
Yeah, I was trying to use the vortex thingy and it spun my bottle off.
Ooh, weird.
I just wasn't. My vortex thingy is like it's actually something for a lab, not for, like actual paint. So it's designed for a test tube, which these bottles are not quite as small as those test tubes would be.
Right.
But when you have access to things like that,
Mm-hmm.
you can purchase them.
It's getting paint on my hands tonight. Oh no!
What happened?
Minor flooding. Water spilt. caught it in time, though. And the Quilted Quicker Picker up to the rescue. Everything's fine. We're all fine here.
How are you?
How are you? All right. Right. Just let that go dry. All right. The dwarfs should be good at this point. Time to actually put the wet palette to use. Yeah, Fallen Icarus, I've kind of moved, like, as much as I am painting GW minis right now, and well, GW, don't sue my ass, but these are 3D printed. They are GW sculpts, and, you know, I'm using GW paints at the moment. I've audibled, since last we spoke, I've audibled over into a different paint system. I use mostly TT Combat now. Which basically is one-to-one GW analog, but just in a dropper bottle and slightly better quality paint, for a lot cheaper. Basing, as far as basing, with those, I can't recommend enough. GW, the one things I do still use from GW on the regular are their texture paints, textures and the washes. So I use Sterling Battlemire. I don't think we're going to get there tonight with these Chaos Dwarfs, but maybe we will. It's literally, you just spread it on with literally just had it. Now I can't find it again. Oh, Marathi. I have like a scraper tool. What did I do with it? Am I literally that dense? I literally had it a second ago. Oh, Chad, I'm getting old. And that makes things so much easier. Like, holy moly. Yeah, the basing process just gets slashed. Oh, it's right here. Okay. Yeah, so you just spread it on with like this. And it looks, it ends up looking really good. And there's a Martian Iron Earth, I think is what it's called, that would work really well for,
Martian Iron Crust.
Iron Crust. Yeah, that's, well, there's an Iron Earth as well. One of them like crusts up a little bit more than the other. But those texture paints and yes, it does, RPD. I wasn't lying about that. I said it wrong. It's not what I intended to say, but it does make things easier to blame on things. The other thing, Fallen Icarus, that I've been using a lot of lately are these. So again, it's, you know, Green Stuff World, not a sponsor, but damn, are their paints cool. This is a liquid dust. Man, I'll go back to the cabinet again. I'll show you what I mean by that. Actually, so Kingpin, again, the way I used to do dust and dirt is by dry brushing, which looks fine. I'm not in any way upset about this. But this is Clea, and all her books have this artificial dust texture over them, which is just one of those Green Stuff World paints. I forgot about some of the detail I put on this mini. Wow, she actually came out really well. So, yeah. Green Stuff World also has some really cool fluorescent paint that would work really well for your, especially that fire prism. You could get some really cool effects on that. Okay, where was I? Right. Flesh. I guess we'll go with this one next. Ooh, that was a satisfying noise. No idea if it picked up on the microphone or not, but here we are. The longer I paint Chaos Dwarfs, the more I realize just how weird some of these sculpts are. They cut a lot of corners back in the 80s. Like, this nose is covered by this thing. It doesn't matter anymore. Well, okay, yeah, but it kind of does. I think it was last episode I complained about batch painting under the, you know, that it never looks as good as painting an individual mini, because they have to look good as a cohesive unit rather than as a character. I do much prefer painting characters to painting units. Which is part of why I'm excited about painting the Blood Bowl stuff, because there is only 2 of any given unit.
Mm-hmm.
I have almost every... Actually, I might be done at this point collecting Chaos Dwarf Blood Bowl characters. I've got the classic Blood Bowl team, I've got the new Blood Bowl team, and I've got the old Blood Bowl team coming in on Monday. Like the Blood Bowl 1.0. Which I will probably put on square bases as old world stuff. There's only a couple of them. But I do have the Bull Centaurs coming in that I was not able to get at Unplugged. It's a pretty good haul, really. And I got there's a new star character, a new Hobgoblin. Which, once again, I will probably put on a square base for Old World. I think technically these square bases are too small, but based on the fact that I've been playing this since middle school. I did find all my like original dwarfs too, like regular dwarfs, last week. And the more I look at them, the more I'm like, it would be really easy to throw these guys in the brake fluid. Maybe I just do that.
There are a couple minis now that I'm kind of like some of my older ones that I'm just like, I should probably put them in green stuff and just be redoing them.
Yeah.
But
well, the problem is like time.
Yeah.
You know, we've got this crazy backlog. With what time are we going to redo all those originals? And it's all batch painting. Like for me, it's all batch painting.
Yeah, my wouldn't be all batch painting, but
RPD says RPD says, oh man, that's gonna be fun, especially to hear me surprisingly capable of talking sports ball. Bro, we did Blood Bowl way back in the day. Like some of the first shows were Blood Bowl. I know you're capable of talking sports ball. I've been playing since James May was only regular old. Actually, that is true. Top Gear with the trio started in 01, and that is also when I started playing Warhammer. Okay. Okay. My students started designing a board game this past week. Completely by accident, too. We have a board game club, right?
Yeah.
And most of the time it's just, okay, yeah, we're going to sit and play Compile or Laser Riders or Medium or something simple. And last week, so 2 weeks ago, we played Medium. And one kid, there's only really two rules of Medium. You say the word at the same time. That's why there's a countdown. And you can't say a word that's on the table.
Yep.
That's it. That's all there is. But this one kid just could not get that through her head. And I said, look, you're cheating. By waiting to hear what your partner has to say, that's cheating. And by saying a word that's on the table, that is also cheating. Which she, in her middle school brain, processed as me calling her a cheater.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, those are not the same thing. Saying you are cheating is not the same thing as calling you a cheater. It's just saying a rule has been broken and that we need to fix that. So I sat everybody down and I was like, okay, I need to explain what the word cheating means here. And somehow we got down a rabbit hole of mechanics. And I was like, well, I'd really like to, one day I'd love to design a game with you guys. And they just started like idea after idea after idea. And they were super into it and excited about it. I was like, all right, bet. I guess we're doing this now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's this really cool little like Breakfast Club detention game. It's going to be a lot of fun to play around with. Boy, I'm really going through it with the inking today. Yet another problem with batch painting. It's just every step takes a gajillion years. I did get to play a little Super Metroid this week. That felt good.
Yeah, I don't think I played like any video games this week.
I didn't think I was going to get to, but sometimes you surprise yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, RPD, I don't know how to respond to that last comment without I don't know how to respond to that last comment. I got nothing.
That's it. That's the one.
Oh, good. I like hearing that. What'd you find?
I was trying to find a color, and it was like her armor. It's kind of purplish, but kind of reddish as well.
Yep.
And I'm trying to find that right hue. And I was like looking at everything and just couldn't find it. Then I glanced up and saw my Games Workshop Citadel's Screamer Pink, and I'm like,
Screamer Pink, yep,
that's perfect.
Yeah, that Screamer Pink is definitely giving Sabine armor. Okay. That's now sorted. Oh, tell me we're not up to dry brushing. I don't want to do dry brushing.
Oh yeah, this is perfect.
For those wondering, just the Screamer Pink is this one. Also known as Horrific. Nope, sorry. Rat Tail Pink. It's about halfway between these two, I guess, honestly, in TT Combat. Oh boy, oh boy. Okay. What's this? Ooh. Is this dead? Might be dead. Oh, Outer Worlds. Outer Worlds is supposed to be really good. Alpha Protocol's a treat. It's 3/4. Is it a 3/4 finished mess? Yeah, but there's so much to love and so many ideas and such a great handle.
Sorry, what is this?
RPD is playing Alpha Protocol and the Outer Worlds.
Oh, the Outer Worlds is amazing.
I've heard really good things about the Outer Worlds. What was that?
I haven't quite finished another playthrough of Outer Worlds since they came out with their big DLC expansion.
Yeah.
So I haven't done any of that, but I have played through and beat the core game.
Nice.
So this is slightly weird. So a couple weeks ago when I was painting Ezra, I was excited that they went with an early season Ezra.
Mm-hmm.
Versus season 3 when they kind of did the.
Oh yeah, that's right. He got
and
got
redesigned his
makeover
a bit. Yeah. But they chose to go with a late season Sabine.
Strange.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would have expected them to do a consistent for all of the characters.
Well, that's something Atomic Mass
is
Games
also
does.
pre-blinding as well.
Right. That's something AMG does a lot, though. They'll just be like, this is the cool version of the character. Well, consistency is... okay. There's something to be said for consistency. I really believe that. I also got to do a little bit of reading this week, which is nice.
What are you reading?
I'm reading a book called Sellout, which is a examination of the sort of early or late 90s into 90s into early 2000s, I guess, punk rock scene, and how like there was a post grunge, there was a major resurgence in punk rock enthusiasm, leading to pop punk or emo becoming prevalent, and how the punk scene reacted to bands like Green Day being willing to kind of sell out a little bit and go on a major label.
Kind of antithetical to the concept of punk to begin with.
Exactly correct. And it's been an interesting read so far. I just got to Green Day was on set for Basket Case, the music video, when the news of Kurt Cobain broke.
Yeah. And
that's about as far as I got. I love the book. It's really good, but it's like seeing that the last music related book that I read was Dave Grohl's autobiography, Storyteller. And of course, he has a very unique perspective on Kurt. And remote error. So seeing it from a different perspective really kind of just rattled me a little bit. So I've kind of stalled on that. As much as I am loving the book, it's really, really good. Dan Ozzie, I believe is the guy's name. It's going to be a while, be a day or two before I can get back into that. But it's a cool book. A neat examination of a culture and scene that that I grew up in.
Yeah.
And then of course I'm reading Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles IDW.
Yeah.
Finally got my hands on volume 16, so ready to soldier forward with that. I'm in the Mutant Town stuff.
I did not get to Mutant Town. I need to keep reading more of it.
It's interesting.
I think I finished at City War.
Yeah, that's right before Mutant Town. Has Hob detonated the thing yet?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, yeah, old Hob loses it. Basically, is that's all I'm going to tell you. Obviously, for spoiler reasons, but I mean, old Hob, he lost it pretty hardcore early on, but he loses it.
I have been reading Wind and Truth.
That's the Brandon Sanderson new one.
Yeah, that's book 5 of Stormlight. And I'm on day 4 out of 10.
Okay. I was gonna say, again, I have no perspective on it. So
the structure in of the story in book 4, it ends with a challenge being issued and set for a week a week later, essentially. And time on Roshar, the planet there, like a week is 10 days. So the structure of this book is just they go like very much day by day, keeping track of all the time and everything that's going on, leading up to the challenge.
Interesting.
In terms of comics, I'm still reading Thundercats.
Yeah, Thundercats is so good. I'm also reading through some old Iron Fist issues as they come to me. I think I'm gonna pretty soon start paring down my comic book collection. There was a time period where I was just like buying and reading everything and anything that was remotely interesting to me.
Yeah.
So like I have a ton of Brave and Bold. I have a ton of like old detective comics, just because they were cheap. They were like $1, and I'm like, I don't need these. So I think I'm going to pare it down to like Daredevil, Iron Fist, and Turtles, and that's about it. A couple other things here and there. Really liked What If, the first run, so I'll keep that. The Amalgam stuff. I have it in omnibus form, but I like having the floppies also.
Yeah.
And then more modernly, like I'm just gonna get rid of some of the stuff that like I will never read. Like the random issues of Detective that I've been getting lately. I'm never gonna read those again. So let's get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move them somewhere else.
Yeah.
Oops. Dropping things. But things like Super Zero or Snot Girl or things like that, like those are cool, and those I probably will read again. So I'll keep those. And I'm kind of going through that with video games too. It's like the other day I was thinking about some games that I would like to play coming up that are out on multiple platforms, and I'm like, am I just buying these on Switch because it's the console that I'm gonna like most likely to keep around, or am I buying this on PS5 for like better fidelity? And I think the answer is I get things on Switch that I like. If there's any hope of it sticking around, I'd probably just buy it on Switch, even though it's going to be an inferior quality. But I'm also holding off because, like, if Switch 2 does any, like, if it can apply the AI up-resing tech to Switch 1 games, then we got a stew going. You know what I mean? Oh, that's the brown. I did clock a little bit of... A couple of the guys have like shrapnel bags, so I think it's time to employ some Green Stuff World metallics. Don't forget the other issue with Switch being closer to Super Metroid, so you have to fight temptation to play them. Bro, need I remind you, RPD, that I am never more than a few feet away from Super Metroid. Nintendo, don't see the ass off of me. I have multiple copies of Super Metroid. That's just running a backup. Alright, what am I... Oh, Dark Bronze. That'd be kind of cool. No, Warpstone. Oh my god, it's Warpstone. They need to be chucking Warpstone in these. So that means I need... I don't care. I'm just going to use 2T Combat. Jungle Shadow Green. That'll work. Not. This one does. been a minute since I painted Warpstone. But the one of the contentions of my particular Chaos Dwarf faction is they got their hands on a bunch of Warpstone.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest is history. They delved too deep and found Warpstone. So there's little splashes of green in amongst their red armor. Or red stupid hats. I don't know how you want to look at it. And I need a little dry off my brush first. No, I can do this. Ow. Stop hurting yourself.
Yeah.
Don't make me come down there.
I cut my thumb at work.
Oh.
And it's like right along here.
Mm-hmm.
And it was with like a, not a scalpel blade, but just a sharp meant for cutting like tissue and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously it hit the tissue of my thumb.
Well, that is
it's like this nasty, almost paper cut, like
yeah,
right on my thumb. And I just happened to rub the paintbrush exactly to run along the line of it, so the like bristles went into the actual cut proper.
Ooh. There we go. Warpstone. Done. Well, I've been putting it off, but I do think it's time to dry brush. RPD says, well, at least you know that now that the tissue cutter works.
Mm-hmm. I knew it worked because it was working on the tissue I was cutting.
Yeah, but now you know. Like, you know. It's better. It's very runny. Stupid Citadel pots are dumb and I hate them. Let's see if we can make this work. Up here. Why is this so wet? Oh, I remember because I spilled paint. What about you? Are you good? Yeah, you're good. Okay. Fascinating, Captain. Alright, fine. Have it your way. Okay, then. Uh-oh. That's better. Hmm? Dry brushing, definitely not a technique that I favor anymore. But when it's the right decision, it is absolutely the right decision, if that makes any sense. You still alive over there, Mike?
I am still alive.
Oh, whoa, that was too much. Okay, that's better. Dry brushing really does work well on things like fabric.
Yeah. At times. Nope, nope, nope. Where is... Nope. Where is the one I want?
Spain.
Probably.
RPD, you want to bop over to Spain and grab that for Broody? That's a bit of a haul for you, especially at this hour, but...
There you are.
Oh, you found it. Never mind.
Matte black.
Ah. Very useful, Matt Black. Not to be confused with Mike Black.
Mm-hmm.
It's his brother. Or actually, it might be his cousin. I was never quite clear on that.
This is going to be frustrating.
We're painters, my friend. Get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
RPG says flat no. I asked if you wanted to. That was my bad. RPD, go to Spain. No, actually don't.
That'll do. She has like a checkered pattern on her one pauldron. That's
Yeah.
annoying.
Stupid hats. Why are you so funny looking? One more.
She's also got heavy, heavy, heavy mascara.
Yes, that's true. And incredibly frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, how do you even?
It completely like negates my normal way of doing eyes.
Yeah. All right, well, I guess that's it.
And if you get too much, they look like a raccoon.
Yeah. All right. There's a couple more little weird detail-y things that I need to sort out and patch up. First things first, boots. Burp. Excuse me. Oh, I need to patch up. Yeah, okay, so there's some edge highlighting to do too. With that red, it's fine.
Ah, damn it.
don't know why I covered that up, because I'm gonna paint lava on them next week. Lava tends to be red.
Mostly.
Mostly. Okay, he's fine. He's fine. He is not fine.
I need to wash this lid out.
Got some gunk in it.
Yeah, it's my gunmetal.
Ow. Fair enough.
And it's like, yeah, it's like leaked out enough to where when I try to undo the lid, the stop or like the dropper stays in the lid.
Oh. Oh, weird. Where was the dude? This guy? No. Well, I don't know what's on his hip. Let's come back to him. That guy. That guy. That guy. So where is he? Oh, right here. He's got like a horn. Oh, it must be a powder horn. That would make sense. Duh. I'm a dumb. Oh, let's try this one. I like that. But it doesn't seem to like me. That explains why. It was clogged. That's a little different. Something unique. And I think just to punch it up a little further, I will splap a little bit of bronze on it too.
Bronze is a fun color that I don't think gets used enough.
Agreed. I use, for most of the Chaos Dwarf stuff, I use just this brass scorpion. I think that's the one I use. But with the Green Stuff World paints kicking around, and also I have some TT Combat metallics as well, I do tend to kind of shake it up a little bit more. I'm just going to glance around my tray here just in case. Just in case inspiration strikes elsewhere. Since I happen to have this brass scorpion within arm's reach. I don't feel like that's right though. I feel like it was... No, whatever. Cool, that looks alright. Don't hate it. I don't hate it. What else we got? This guy seems like genuinely no idea what that is. I'm not looking at it. Don't care. Oh, you know what? My little bags have buttons on them. Now, if I weren't lazy, I would do a layer of black before I put the buttons on, but I'm heckin' lazy, and this is where we're at. And that's warpstone, okay. And that guy. That dude just like that powder horn. Loving that all day. I still gotta figure out what this guy's holding on his side bit there. I guess. Yeah. I have no idea what it is. So.
Ow!
Stop hurting yourself, man.
I'm sorry. I was trying to clean out that lid of my
Oh, yeah.
and it flicked paint in my face, like in
Oh,
my eye.
God. Rude.
Mm-hmm. Get like a Q-tip with alcohol on it to get all that off.
Hmm.
Have you noticed that like metallic paints tend to be a lot more runny than normal paints?
Very much so. Oh. Almost done here. They're either, yeah, metallic paints are either like way runnier or way thicker. And I think that's like to combat the runniness. Like I think about Lead Belcher. Lead Belcher tends to be really chunky. stuff. Too much. Okay. Just a little patching to go. And I do believe we're going to just go ahead with Admiralty Gray here. You ever, like, I know batch painting not really one of your frequent things, but I know you've done it in the past.
Mm-hmm.
You ever like get into a batch painting and you're like, okay, I need to mark which one's these that I've already done, and you just start moving them from one side to the other?
Yep.
I was just noticing these dwarfs have bounced back and forth from one side of my tray to the other all night. Okay, that one's worked quite well, actually. Okay. That's another part of about painting beards is beards don't go gray consistently. So it's okay if you're just using your gray to cover up a happy little accident. have had with the red minutes before. Cool. 3 more. Last one. This silk. Oh, too much. Immediately. And with that, I'm done looking at these guys for the night. Just the lava bases to go and a little bit of touching up on the bronze. Perhaps. We'll do that next time. How are you holding up, Mike?
I'm doing good. But yes, it's already just after midnight, so yeah, I'm perfectly fine calling it if we need to.
Yeah, I think it's time. I gotta wake up and make breakfast for the kid tomorrow. So, still too far back. There we go. I'll get him up there. Well, thank you all for hanging out with us tonight. This has been a lot of fun. Always is. This has got to be the best way to paint with a buddy on stream, live. Don't forget. Well, first things first, I will be back on the channel Monday night for Zach Sucks at Games, continuing our Guacamelee 2 playthrough, and then Friday, 8 o'clock here on the show, here on the channel. It's Trapped in Arkham. We're back with Jason Trost. Broody will be there. Alex will be there. Jared will be there. Jacqueline, Greg, other Mike. That's producer Chamali. The gang's all here, or will be all here. We're going to be talking about J-Tro's new films, The Waves of Madness and Afar. Very, very excited to bring you that, as well as playing a good old-fashioned game of Arkham Horror. Be there or be in Eldritch Square, as Remote Error says. I'm quite sure I don't want to know what an Eldritch Square is. It can't be good. Anyway, have a great night, everybody. Take care, be safe, be well, and we'll talk to you real soon. Bye.
See ya.